We're going to go over boss 6 and boss 7 to finish up PTRU this week, and then we just got a couple of weeks until launch, so that's pretty cool. Sam Rockwell was on Hot Ones? Hell yeah. All right, just a couple more seconds for you guys all to pile in the stream. Make sure to kick back, relax, grab a drink, ask any questions you might have. I prefer this to be discussion if it could be discussion, but I'll make it a presentation if I need to.
Wait, your stream is currently paused on a video, right?
That's right. I'm waiting for people to join. Yep, that's what it is.
I was going in and out and I wasn't seeing a mouse. I'm like, uh-oh, is my computer fucking up?
Nope, yeah, there's nothing going on. I'll full screen it though. JB's here. All right.
Sorry, my computer restarted.
Yeah, right. You were cooking. How was that dry brine?
Pretty good.
Okay.
But I don't know why my computer restarted.
Okay, so we're just going to go over these last two fights on Heroic. I might throw in just a little bit of Mythic at the tail end, depending on if we have time. I'll try and keep this to 30 minutes. But let's get started. This is Fractillus boss 6. Couple of things about this boss of note. Probably a really short boss. We're talking like 4 to 5 minute single target burn. He is just sitting here. You can't really move him as a tank or anything, so he chills here, and it's a small arena. Tetris style boss. So a couple of things. These crystals that you see here around the room, that's a critical piece of the fight. Basically, we're going to be landing horizontal line pieces across the entire arena. There are 6 different lanes that they can land in, and they act as like focusing lenses for this little beam here that's coming out of the crystal. If 6 pieces accumulate in any lane, it's a wipe. The beam will get to the boss and he'll start doing big AoE damage, and we're dead. So we're basically stacking up pieces and then breaking the pieces, and you'll kind of see how that works here. So it's a pretty simple fight, so we won't spend too much time on it, but they've marked all of the lanes, the 6 lanes with markers. You'll see how it kind of looks though in the fight here. Let's see. So yeah, so these lines come out, these mark the lanes. So these are not the lanes, they're the borders of the lanes, or the lines. So, and the lane, the center of the lane goes to a crystal. You cannot send any of these. So this is the walls. Notice how subtle this animation is. It's just a little black orb above your head, and then you've got a line, like a white line coming from the boss. It's like one of the complaints about the boss is that it's too subtle. They want to make that a little bit more obvious to the players. But anyway, you want to distribute the walls evenly if you can. The way that it works is it hits you with a dot and knocks you back a little bit, and then puts the wall as far back as it can go, whatever lane you're in. If there are 2 or 3 people stacked in your lane, then all of you will get either 2 or 3 dots, and it's pretty dangerous if you get 2 or above without like some personals. So you do want to kind of spread it out. No big deal if it's just 1, but then like, yeah, 2 gets rougher pretty fast. So they're spreading these out in different lanes. The tanks, by the way, are over there in the corner. They also put them out, and then see, now these are out, and then the beam extended just a little bit.
We got PI'd, oh my gosh.
And there's Shockwave Slam, and then the tanks placed 2 over on the far side there.
Oh, that's okay.
And then we're putting more walls out, so they're going to double stack these over here.
With less than PI. I have a 3 stack over there. This is the clear. They have a 3 stack there.
Okay, so this is, I believe this is the clear. And it bugged out here, I think. You'll be able to see it better later. I'm going to show the animation of that in a second. So they broke some walls. On Heroic, there's one where you need to spread. There's always, I think on normal, the void zone, like the little puddles, just swirlies, so just spread out as a group. this spread is so subtle. Like, look at this circle. I mean, you can see them, but they're not like huge. I believe it's 10 players in the raid get those circles, and they just need to spread out and use the entire room to do so. And then they go again. So you don't get as many breaks as you do walls. So it starts to accumulate and goes faster and faster. That's why the fight is, 4 or 5 minutes or something like that, because eventually, no matter how well you manage the walls, it will eventually reach the boss. Now you can manage them really well and delay it, but even in an optimum setup, you'll hit it. A couple of things that people were confused about as well is if 2 players that are breaking the walls with the knockback, what was even that sound? I don't even know what that sound was. Wow.
That was interesting.
If 2 players who are breaking the walls get knocked back in the same lane, they will break 2 walls. So each player breaks 1. So it's okay to be in the same lane and break more. And oftentimes in strategies, you will even stack like 3 breaks in the same lane, depending on, how you stack them up beforehand. There are a lot of ways to solve it and think about, but most likely, unfortunately, we're just going to get a weak aura that says go to green, and then it'll show a green pie slice like just to the right of middle, and you'll go there and you won't really think about it. Notice they're also, everybody's here, right? And they're just electing to keep this as the safe lane. And then that's basically the strategy that everybody decided on in PTR, like the good guilds, is they were doing this, and then they would say like swap to green, and now green is safe, and so they'd stack a bunch of them in green and swap over, and now they've got a full free lane that they can put in, which will extend their time that they have on the fight. So okay, so here's the knockback. So notice this one's also subtle. There are arrows, and then there are little blue arrows, and then a beam of light, but it's still kind of subtle. And then there's this like shadowy thing that points backwards. So this is the knockback where you get the breaks. That's what that one looks like. Ball over your head is a wall, and little beam of light and black beam behind you indicates a knock.
I think I can, but I'm not sure.
Oh, good luck with that. Very subtle. And his health was super undertuned on PTR, so everybody was like killing him pretty much right away, but you can imagine that they'll have this tuned pretty well, and it'll be quite a DPS race. But that's literally it. That's the whole fight.
I need an external here.
Any
Very
questions
patchy.
before we yeah, it's pretty patchwork. On Mythic they just add a different equestrians.
Equestrian.
You have one, or are you just
No, equestrian free.
equestrian free? So there are different colored walls that some of them do the circle on the ground, some of them do more spread assignments. On Mythic there's another colored wall. I think it's like lighter color, like white or whatever, and that's bursting. It just puts a dot on the whole raid. So if you break more of the Mythic walls, big dot on the whole raid. And that's the only difference as far as we know on Mythic. They were testing a secret mechanic that they might add to it, since it is a 6th boss, right? Like it's late in the raid, so it should be fairly difficult. However, I don't know if that's going to be in. I guess there's like red circles going on random players, and those red circles would just insta-gib anybody else who stood on them, so it might force a spread, but not sure. Not in the dungeon journal, and only half of the guilds got to even test that mechanic. It might have been unintentional. Not even sure what was going on there. Cool. So yeah, there
Yeah,
would be
tank mechanic of any kind.
not really. You just stack, and then you get knocked back a little bit. You take double dot, and that's basically it. I think on like Mythic or whatever, when we're using the weak aura and it'll assign you, you're actually going to run. It'll do 3 walls, and it'll be a triple dot on both of you, and you guys will run together and actually have to drop 3 walls in very specific spots. But in general, I don't believe there's anything. I think every backhand you just taunt, and that's it.
Okay.
This is literally just optimized damage kind of fight, like race to the end. So depending on tuning, could be an absolute banger or could be horrible. We'll see. Cool. So
Does each person equal 1 wall breaking, or does one break multiple?
Each person, yeah, equals 1 wall breaking. Yep. That's exactly right. And just the same, yeah, each person equals 1 wall stacking as well. You're always add or subtract 1 yourself. Cool. Any other questions about that before we move on to our last one? Yeah, there's nothing to really spend time on. Yeah, that one's just going to be an optimization fight. There's a lot. There's going to be a lot to heal. It's going to be hard to live. There's going to be, you know, cooldowns and cool strategies that we can come up with as far as like which colors to break and that sort of thing. But since we don't know any of those timings right now and we can't really speculate, then it's not really worth worrying about until we get there. But knowing what the mechanics look like and what's happening early on is really helpful. A lot of players were really confused and they thought that like you could drop the walls like halfway in between and you could miss, but as long as you're at all in your lane, it doesn't matter which side of the lane, the wall just goes straight down your lane, exactly where it needs to be. So not too much there. Cool. All right, let's talk. This is where we're going to spend most of our time. This is a major step up
This boss is so sick.
and an absolute banger looking of a boss. But we'll go through it. We'll talk through it a little bit. Some things that are kind of unique right out the gate on this boss. If you die, you will be mind controlled. You get healed to 100% and mind controlled, so you can start CCing the raid and doing damage to the raid and stuff. So don't die at all ever. It's kind of like Denathrius or Sarkareth in the first phase, where you start with 3 stacks and you need to clear the stacks by soaking mechanics. If you don't, then you get mind controlled and die at the end of the phase. I think all of the phases are not percentage pushes, but they're all timed as far as I'm aware of, so there's no stop damage, which is cool. Some 2-target cleave. Second phase is kind of like Razageth, where we'll split the raid and go to different platforms, and there'll be adds to cleave down, and then we'll come back. And then the last phase is kind of like Kaiveza, but on crack. So there's a lot of different bosses going on. Let's just talk through it as we go through here. We'll phase it. So tanks, this one is massive for you. This fight, I think if you spend 3 hours thinking about the tank combo mechanic alone, it's not too much time spent thinking about it. So he does a combo, 4 hits, that there's 2 different moves, but the moves can be cast in any random order, and you don't know like how it's going to come out. This first one that you're seeing here is Conquer. This is the soak. This is how you'll clear your stacks. Notice everybody has 3 stacks here. This is a little undertuned, so they actually stacked and double soaked this, but this should be group 1 and 2 should soak this once, and then like group 3 and 4. So split the raid in half and soak this is how it should happen, because you get a vulnerability debuff on the hit, but they were just stacking a bunch of cooldowns and making it work here at the beginning. So there's this one that you bring to the raid group, and then there's one that you face away from the raid group, and you don't know which one is which, and you cannot taunt during. You can't taunt during, it won't swap off. So it picks right away, there's no tell. So you have to kind of come up with a strategy that works even though you don't know what order is going to happen. So yeah, this one gets faced away from the raid, obviously. And then this next one, since there's 3 that just happened, right? Conquer, Vanquish, Vanquish. We know that the next one's going to be a Conquer, which is the soak. So the other group, and so the tank brings that in. Notice though, let me just go back a little bit further so you can watch that in real time. Notice that the Conquer comes out a lot slower than the Vanquish. So I think the definite play is with your positioning. You assume that it's going to be Vanquish and then bring it in if it's Conqueror instead. Obviously, by the time you've seen 3, you know what the last one is, but you can't really predict it. And I think you just taunt off each other either way, but I have to think about that.
I think you just have it like in thirds. Couldn't be too bad.
Yeah.
Like the tank stand in the frontal third, and then the 2 groups stand on the corners, and you just taunt. Because you could taunt during the thing, right? And you'll get the next ability. Like you won't swap it immediately, but you'll get the next one for sure.
You'll get the next one. Yep. Yeah. So I do think it's just two or three taunts back to back, and then if you happen to get 2 vanquishes or 2 conquers, then you have to just pop big CDs. I think is the way it works out. But it was hitting so hard on tanks. There were not a lot of tank classes, even on awesome players, that could handle that. So okay, and then we're gonna see the next mechanic. So this is. This is, think, kind of like Blaze Lines here. It's called Behead. He commands his drakes, which are all around the room, by the way. You can kind of see one up here in the corner, but if you walk next to him, they melee you and kill you, so you can't go to the edge of the room quite right. But these are like Blaze Lines, but they also push you because they're like a claw that will come up, and they push you along the line, and then they also leave a puddle. So it's like Blaze 2.0 plus.
They look so cool.
Yep.
Fucking claws.
The claws. So you take them out of the group, and now they leave in puddles. Cool. And that's
Blizzard loves their line attacks, don't they?
Good.
yeah.
Lion is a good shape. Top tier shape.
So now the dragons should be sending out tornadoes. These are the tornadoes here. These will probably be a one-shot and want to treat them like a one-shot. And now we're doing the tank combo with soaks, and one-shots are coming through the raid from the dragons that are doing these breaths. Well, they're clearing here. Good. Vanquish. Probably. Oh, I guessed it, I guess. Banishment.
Do we know if the tornadoes, like, do you see the dragon position early on, or do they move before they cast it? know?
Yeah, you can see it if you're looking, and so you know which where they're coming from. Yeah, I think also if the raid stacks on one side, you can bait most of the dragons to spawn. I don't know that they spawn evenly around the room as well, so there's some ways you can control that. But
Did they say what was the damage like running across the puddle?
Oh yeah, it's fairly high. I think it's like 3 mil or 4 mil per tick or something like that.
Okay.
Every second or so is what it looks like. So they're actually, the scratch that buckets, they look like they're evenly spaced. I don't know if it's different in Mythic, but yeah, but you can see there's like a little like pulsy
I'm
AoE
sorry, there's like
around
safe
them.
zones where you could stand for the tornadoes, like to know where to pre-position for the cone.
Oh,
You know,
maybe.
like it almost looks like it's in between the little gems on the circle.
You can bait them too. I believe they shoot them at players. So if you have like a soak spot
Oh, so they're
designated, you
okay.
could
I thought
you
they were
could
like
bait
straight across the
away.
room. They're like at players.
Yeah.
It looks like they exploded right before they sent the thing across. From his pick, if you go back about 15 seconds, it looked like they exploded, and that's when the one came out.
Okay.
Right? See what? Actually, like that one top right by Moon goes boom.
Yeah, there's like an AoE indicator.
Yeah, and then that tells you where it's coming from.
1, 2.
Oh, the
There's one
order?
over here
Yeah.
too. Yeah. But I don't think they shoot just straight across. They do, because that they would come like right across the middle if that were the case. But they're
Yeah, the one on the
they're
left
kind of
went like
aiming.
way
Yeah.
Yep.
random.
Good
At
thought.
least we can see where they're coming from.
Yeah, subtle knowledge like that is going to be very valuable. So I'm glad you guys are looking at that critically. Okay, so this is the end of the phase. Invoke the Oath. This is if you have any stacks left, it kills you. And it almost kills you anyway. I think it does like 12 mil damage to everybody currently. This is just a knockback. He just back up. He's summoning his mount, the CE mount of the tier, which is pretty cool.
If it
Okay,
was only that
so they
big.
take these out. These eventually spawn portals where dragon heads come out and they shoot breaths. So just be aware of that. So we can place 4 of these on heroic. Phase 2, by the way. And you can cleave both of them. Damage on both of them matters. Mostly Saldahaar, you want to cleave onto the Void Wing probably, but whatever's best for your class. So 2 target cleave here. They're doing some of these blaze lines, taking these out. Okay, and then there's a breath. So you can see on the right here, this portal is showing you where the breath is going to go. So there's going to be a breath on the tank. There's going to be a breath coming out of this portal, and then there's 3 other portals. So there's basically 5 breaths going across the room at the same time. And the direction that this portal is shooting is also somewhat random. I don't believe it's baited on players. It just picks a direction. It can actually shoot off into space as well sometimes. So completely random. And so you have to react to whatever position you get, at least on Heroic. On Mythic, it's actually a set pattern, but on Heroic, kind of hard. You got to watch this beam.
Maybe we could.
Because not only does the beam come out, but watch what it does. It rotates. So if it spawns next to you and you barely dodge it, it can follow you. And this happens to him later on, actually, and very easy to die to that. Okay, so this is intermission for the phase 2, and then we come back to that phase again. Very interesting fight structure, actually. Unprecedented. You just come up to this gate, you use your extra action button. Remember, we talked about you want to have extra action button bound for this tier. If you don't have a cloak, you cannot come to this platform and do this AoE. The boss is pulsing on the other platform and is taking 99% reduced damage, so you want to come to this platform. They just died, like, I don't even know. Who knows, like, how that's going to be tuned. But basically, there's some dodges and some kicks that happen on that platform. Just like a little M+ break, I guess. And then you go back. So we're back in phase 2. So there'll be the blaze lines, and there'll be the breaths. So then you can place the portals.
Yeah, I don't know if that was even me. I think the boom kid and everything else would have blasted it too. More dots. I want some egg cleave.
So it's kind of cool that there's 2 target cleave and the damage on both of them matters. So it's not like padding or anything weird going on. We'll talk about why it matters here in a second. The boss just bugged out and didn't do anything for a while here, it looks like, but now it's okay. I'm back in phase 2. They're placing these, so you'll see him get absolutely boned by the breath coming up here. I don't know for sure as well, Tanks, but I think there is a... Yeah, it just went right across him. He used a personal and was able to live it, but who knows what the tuning will be like on that. Definitely a one-shot on Mythic. There is a Razageth style mechanic on here, Tanks, where I believe the damage that you take is done to the raid, so like using good mitigation for that hit. And I think it's during the breath, but I'm not sure. Just be aware. Okay, so 30-second 100% damage amp on the Voidwing. What's happening this portion of the fight? So basically, he's eating his own dragon, and the dragon takes 100% increased damage. He takes 99% reduced damage, so probably not really worth touching him at all, and only hitting the dragon, right? Even if you're a class that might generate resources or whatever, multi-dotting, and they're just far enough apart that you can't really cleave for free. So anyway, huge single target on the dragon. The more health that the dragon has, the more he's going to heal for, and then have a longer final phase. So kind of a cool mechanic, which is why the damage on the dragon earlier mattered, but you do get 100% more on it later. These are somewhat baited, it looks like, these lines, these claw lines that come out. Very Rashok-esque intermission here. But 30-second 100% damage amp is a very long time. Also, just a lot of pulsing damage, so healers will have to like take turns with CDs so we have coverage throughout that entire thing. Okay, so now we're in the last phase. So sit up in your chair. If you haven't been paying attention much, this is the part you definitely want to check out. There are these portals that come out, and you can place this mechanic that's coming out. They're red and spinners, and then there's another set, so it's 3 and 3. So there's going to be 6 of these that come out. They have marks here, so they're trying to like place them on marks. That's how they elected to handle it, and they will hit and do some damage, and they'll suck you a little bit, do a little bit of a Kaiveza suck, so you kind of want to place them evenly. And now you've got these black holes that dark stars come out of. And now what's
Dear God,
going
those look scary.
Yeah, and now what's going to happen is a dodge pattern off of every single of the 6 stars, but they're rotating, they're orbiting around the center, and they're orbiting in a some of them are going counterclockwise, half of them, and some of them are going clockwise, and then you've got these concentric circles coming out, and you just have to dodge. Now, obviously, there'll be ways to control this and places to spawn it where you can get a pattern that's more favorable than this one, but this is the mechanic. And then, okay, the other mechanic during this phase is Star Killer Swing. He's channeling it right now. 3 players, so himself and 2 of his like dudes are going to pick 3 random players. It will shoot a projectile at those players, and it will kill any of these stars, and you do want that to happen. So you want to split up and kill 3 of them. So obviously it would work a bit better if the boss stayed in the center somehow, and then they did that and killed them. So
What about Mythic?
They only killed 1. We'll talk about Mythic in a sec, actually. So they get another set of 3, right? Remember I said 6 spawned, and they just got 3 and 3. So you actually can clear the whole platform of these guys before they spawn more. You can kill all the stars here. It doesn't pierce, right? So you can't kill 2 at a time. It'll just kill 1 of them per Star Killer Swing. And now they're placing more. Something I want you guys to notice here is notice which direction this is rotating. This is clockwise, right? And this is the darker blue color. There's another set that comes out, and this is like the lighter pink one. That one rotates the other way, counterclockwise. So it'll tell you which direction your star is going to be orbiting based on the way that the telegraph looks, which is kind of rad.
Dude, War better get anti-clockwise every time. I'm gonna be pissed.
True, the pinky anti-clockwise. So they're doing that, right? So on Mythic, this gets a little crazy. So Star Killer Swing does not kill any of these 6 stars on Mythic. It just reverses their direction. The catch is that if any star touches any other star, you wipe. And so it'll give you another round of 6, and then another round of 6, and you have to place them just perfectly in the right orbit and in the right spot so it doesn't hit another star. And then use the Star Killer Swing to LOS and reverse direction on the correct ones every single time. Or you wipe. I don't even know. I
don't think it'll be that crazy. It's honestly not gonna be that crazy. Because you'll have 1 ring for clockwise, 1 for anti-clockwise, and 1 that you swap 3 between.
Yes,
and then it doesn't matter.
But once it adds more stars.
Yeah, so you just need to be in the anti-clockwise ring. If your ring, that's when you need to know which way your star is going to go, and you drop it in the ring that's already going that way.
Yeah, but if you drop more than 3 in a ring and you get 3 Star Killer Swings, you can't reverse them all at the same time.
3 rings.
They'll
hit 3 rings, and you have 1 ring that you could swap. You only have 3 stars in at any time.
Yeah, my brain's going to explode, dude.
I can map it out. I can draw it on paper for you.
Okay, so. Anyways, that's super cool. So obviously you don't want the boss to have very much HP going into this phase because you don't want it to last forever. But yeah, that's basically that.
I wonder if it's gonna be an angle to where you actually don't want to hit them and change their direction.
Yeah, you might like go like 3 immunes or something. Somehow you bait the Star Killer Swings.
Well, you just put all 3 in a line behind each other that are going one way, and then the next set is 3 in the other way that are going the other way. So they never actually touch each other.
Yeah, if you can get
because they're just following them.
Yeah, if you can get like really precise orbits, yeah, where they wouldn't touch each other, but you cram them in, and then you're like really close. But Oh yeah, he gets targeted by the way. Notice that it's like Kaiveza, where if it's targeting you, it's a red line, whereas everybody else's is a blue line. So same Kaiveza
Do
technology.
you need to get behind it, or did you need to get? Okay.
You don't. A lot of players were doing that, but you don't. It pierces you, but it does not pierce any other stars. So,
Hey guys.
wow, I did not mean to do that.
Thanks, Salamazi.
Hey, what's going on?
Thanks, Kalamazzi, for the footage. So, just to show you guys a little bit on Mythic on this fight, since you know we're going to be spending some time here, and that's important. This guild, this is like the best guild to stream, you know, PTR footage at all. This guild got to last phase Mugsy in an hour, Mythic Mugsy, but they did not get out of P1 on this fight. And no guild that tested on the PTR other than probably Race to World First Guilds got out of P1. But let's talk about why. So lots of raid damage right at the beginning, whatever. It's going to be basically the same thing. There's a ton more tornadoes that will one-shot you, right? The cone is much wider.
Shit, the code is crazy.
Look at how fast those tornadoes came through too. Look at this tornado speed. If that one shots, look at how fast that is. This is crazy, dude. And then they're doing the soaks, right? And the soak, by the way, knocks you up into the air just a little bit as well when you get hit, so it makes it harder to dodge. So they're gonna
Found you,
put
bastard.
some. Okay, and that's the other thing too. He said, "Found you, bastard." So they were having trouble finding it. So every time you knock a stack off in this phase, it spawns a ghost. So for him, the ghost spawns right here. So this white flash is his ghost. You have to face your ghost, and then it will dash through you, and that's how you lose your stack. If you do not face your ghost, you will get the stack reapplied to you. So kind of like whatever, Battle for Dozarlor or whatever, that monk boss. That's the same
sick.
idea. So then they get the swipes here.
Please move these far.
What I was seeing, I was watching Consequences testing as well. They were actually placing, these blaze lines more like against the wall, and then they were moving. So they were moving like away from where they were placing them, and then getting a clean spot to do the tank combo in. So they would go like right here, first, second, third, around the room in a clockwise fashion. That might be the way that it's handled. Not sure, but they're doing
Those
this
are
kind of
wild icon choices.
They're doing
Orange
more.
and aspect of the monkey.
Yeah, just a bunch of
That's like monkey orange.
the
I was
raid,
gonna
man.
say, what does monkey and orange mean?
That's my symbol for a raid. Just a bunch of monkey fruits.
Fucking orange monkeys over here.
Yeah.
1, 2.
Okay.
So I wonder
Me
for
and
this one
Mazda
if you
was
just
the
have
monkey.
like the soak side is always the same and you're just like outside inside. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if you're the ones that aren't soaking, you move to the outside of the circle or something.
1, 2, half.
Because the knockup makes it so hard.
Oh,
And left and right would be
maybe.
sketch. I don't know.
Maybe.
Feels sketch either way.
The other
Freaking ass.
thing too is that every time you clear a stack, you get the number of ghosts that you are missing of stacks. I said that really weird, but basically every time you clear a stack, you're going to get another ghost.
3, 4.
So at this
Are
point,
they consecutive or?
yeah, they
Like 1, 2,
spawn at
3?
the same time. So he's got a ghost that spawned here, and then there's another one that's going to spawn here, and he's got to turn and look behind him and do both of those. Because this is the second time he's cleared, and he didn't, so he got both stacks back. So even though he cleared the first time correctly and got down to 2 stacks, because he did it wrong the second time, he's back up to full stacks.
I don't even know. This is just...
That's fucking crazy.
This mechanic.
Yeah.
This is the best mechanic ever. This is the best. I love it.
So you
What
kinda
Core, what clears the stack? Is it the stacky circle or does the cone clear it?
yeah, soaking any damage. Yeah, but you don't ever do the cone. The cone one-shots anybody but a tank. But the conquest, you can split the damage. The circle, you split.
So tanks technically get multiple of those ghosts every time. Or no? Like if I take 2 every turn, do I clear 2 every time and then another round of that?
You could. I think what you're supposed to do is always switch the conquest, so every round that one tank will get only one.
But tanks get all of them, right? Like each tank gets 2 on every round, where raid only gets 1.
Each tank should get 1 every round. Yeah,
Because only the conquest does it.
since he does 2 with the combo, each combo, and
Uh-huh.
you split the raid, so you'll split the tanks just like you split the raid. So the tanks should be doing it the same amount.
The cone doesn't
then
do it.
it's-
Much. It's just a,
so that-
it's a soak.
So
It's
then
not
it's just a circle, right? Like it's not the cone.
Yeah.
It must be. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
So in the process of me taking the cone out, I got to be looking at some ghost that spawned God knows where, right? Midway
Yeah.
through the combo. Nice.
I-
Well,
Love it.
it looks like you have 12 seconds. You have a long time to look at your ghost. The debuff was 12 seconds on Kalamazi earlier.
Oh, you think it's
So I
12?
think you can do
okay.
it after the combo. Yeah.
Kalamazi didn't
And
have
is-
it. Kalamazi
No,
didn't.
the ghost thing?
The debuff, the ghost thing's not on heroic. It's only on mythic. The debuff
Oh,
you
this guy.
saw,
Whoever this is. There was
Oh,
like a countdown
oh.
from 12 seconds with the red thing when after they soak.
that's the
See,
vulnerability.
you should get it right here.
That's the
That's the
vulnerability.
vulnerability. That's not the ghost countdown.
That's not ghost. Yeah.
Is it like look at the ghost and the ghost goes away, or is it like stare
Yeah.
at the ghost until he casts something?
I believe he dashes through you as soon as you look right at him, but it's pretty. It's pretty sensitive. So okay, so he spawns here. He looked at it. Looked.
Oh, yeah.
looked.
It's so fast. Spin your camera, dude.
It goes. Yeah, it
It's
goes
almost
at
like
you.
just do a quick spin. You can get on.
Kind of.
And is it like spin camera or spin character?
It's
Like
got to
does
be
my character
character.
need to look at?
Maybe you
Yeah,
face.
it's character. Yeah.
Okay.
It was character in MUP. Or in Battle for
Yeah, I remember that one
Right, yeah.
vaguely. But yeah.
So this wasn't them, but phase 2, like I said, is not random beams, but it's like a program. So let's see. He watches that here in a second. This is their furthest pull, by the way. The best guild with an hour of work.
Oh, dude, he missed his
This-
ghost. His
this is
broken
the-
oath returned to haunt him.
He almost did it. Yep. Okay, so they got so this is this is in the second phase. These are the beams.
Oh, damn.
Watch this.
This looks so sick.
Watch
Let's go.
this.
Spinning!
Watch. Keep watching. And on Mythic, that's got to be a one shot.
Oh my god.
What the hell?
Yeah.
Yeah, you should be in the dead center at the beginning and then run it outside after they phase out.
Yeah. Inside outside is basically what that translates to, but it
Yeah.
looks crazy cool.
I feel like it'll be easier than the heroic version.
Yeah, to some
'Cause it'll
degree.
be
I
a-
think you're right.
Yeah,
Unless the heroic version does way less damage and you can just pop a personal and run through it, right?
yeah. Because there you got to be out, and then now you got to be dead center right here because it's about to get real scary.
Dead center, dead center, dead center. Get in there, and then get
And then
out.
you got to fucking run out, run out, run out, run out. Ah,
There's a lot of good uses for speed and
I
windrush.
can't
in
wait
this
to hear
raid.
LK get so mad on the fight. I'm
There's a
so
lot.
fucking slow. Ah.
There's a lot of
Hey,
movement.
priest, dude.
But it'll be
The
perfect
boss
for
is-
wood elf stuff, dude.
The boss is gone for that, right? There's nothing to hit.
That's a good question. Actually, I don't know.
I thought the guy was there. Was he not there?
Let's see. No, the
The
boss
guy's
is
there.
here. Yeah.
They're both there. Yeah, you're supposed
Yeah,
to hit them both,
it's,
right?
It's the 2-target cleave in phase 2. Yeah, it's still there.
Oh, he's still there. He's still tankable, right there.
Yeah, we're not just dancing. We're dancing and we can do damn too.
You gotta dance with the one who brung you. And Nexus King,
That's
whoever
crazy.
brought you.
How long are you
Saldahaar.
MC'd?
Salad. Say what?
How long are you MC'd?
For life.
Forever.
You're dead.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I wonder if I could drop a trimmer to
For the
it.
next 5 pulls.
Also, imagine somebody getting hit by a tornado here, right? And then you're trying to dodge and you just get hodged or like feared or something like that because the one
Dude,
person
fucking
got
Avalard.
MC'd.
I can't wait to be so mad at Avalard.
It would
Hey,
happen.
Snova.
It would happen.
Yeah, it will happen. It was happening on PTR, so it's rough.
so good.
Boomkins
Yeah,
were like
Nexus
mass
Princess.
rooting people, and it's nasty, dude.
Dude, mass root? Yeah, take that shit off your bar.
No,
We're about to get
dude,
fucking
not for
Earth
this
Wolf-
fight. You
Wolf
gotta
Graph.
like,
or whatever, Vortex.
All right, I'm stopping the recording. That's all the stuff I had to cover. We obviously haven't been over the last boss at all, and that's on purpose. the best prep that we can do for that is actually just pay attention to the race world first, when those those guilds get there, and just check it out as best as we can before we get there. But there's too many question marks. There are some cool things, I think. It's like a semicircle type platform around like the huge boss. It's going to be kind of similar feeling to N'Zoth if you played that. And towards the last phase, there's going to be some circles where we drop void zones, kind of like N'Zoth. So we'll make like a pizza shape in the raid, and everybody should have positions. There's sausage style rings that you have to kite out, and you can only cross over until your stacks pass up. That's back in the last phase. There's tendril style dragon riding that we know of, but better than
Max had said
tendril.
like Volacross, right?
Volacross, maybe.
Where you both start and then you end up in the same spot.
Oh
Basically.
yeah. You might split the raid, yeah, because he smashes down 2 hands. Yeah, you might. That's a good way of looking at it.
Who's Volacross? Which one was that?
How's that
The
worm that we one
worm
shot?
in the middle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Dude, I was
Yeah.
thinking
Like,
of
Eye of the
the
Jailer.
dragon and Nyalotha. What was that one?
Oh, that one too.
That starts with a V?
Oh, good question.
Vexiona?
Vexiona, yeah.
Oh,
I think so.
Vexiona, yeah. That's what I
Or
was thinking.
no,
Trying to
it must have
remember.
been a different name, because Vexiona is that other dragon that's in the dungeon.
That's
And-
Valiona.
oh, that is
Yeah,
Valiona.
that
It
one-
might
that
be
one, Valiona,
Vexiona.
yeah.
You're right.
Valiona.
Okay.
I don't remember. The one on top, like at the end of one of the wings.
Anyways, it's not like that though.
It's Vexiona.
Evidently, while you're dragon riding the boss, it's like all voidy. He's throwing black holes and planets at you that you have to dodge. There should be some epic things happening. It should be very, very cool.
That's a lot better than the fucking red dots.
Yeah.
The gravity